Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. It's Monday, November 2nd, coming to you live from our studio in Seoul. I'm Kim Mo-kyan. Before we get started, these are the stories we're following at the top of the hour. South Korea reports 97 new COVID-19 cases Monday, halting a recent triple-figure trend. This comes as the government has outlined its new social distancing guidelines, moving from a 3-level tiered system to 5. 2 days out from the U.S. presidential election, candidates are stepping up their campaigns in major swing states. President Trump has been focusing his efforts in 5 different states, with Biden concentrating on a key swing state, Pennsylvania. And former South Korean President Lee Myung-bak, who was sentenced late last week to 17 years in prison on embezzlement and bribery charges, is to be imprisoned again this afternoon. Our top story this morning, we begin with the COVID-19 situation in South Korea. The country reported 97 new cases on Monday, staying around the 100 mark for nearly a week. Of the new cases, 79 were locally transmitted and 18 cases were from overseas. 2 more deaths have been reported, raising the death toll to 468. And with the latest resurgence, the government has unveiled a revised, more detailed set of social distancing rules. Before, there had been levels 1 through 3, but now distancing levels have been split into 5 stages. Our Yoon Jung-min tells us more.
In response to the persistent coronavirus threat, the South Korean government unveiled on Sunday new social distancing rules revised into 5 stages. The detailed rules, which will go into effect from November 7th, aim to effectively curb the outbreak, while at the same time help ease the fatigue people are feeling.
We are dividing the social distancing rules further from 3 levels into 5 to better reflect reality. We are also redesigning our disease prevention measures to make them more tailored and to make them more effective.
Under the revised rules, social distancing will have levels 1.5 and 2.5. For level 1, there have to be fewer than 100 new cases a day in the capital area on average over the span of 1 week and fewer than 30 on average in other regions. The government will raise the level by another notch if the capital averages more than 100. Level 2.5 will take effect if there are more than 400 cases and level 3 for over 800. Under level 1.5, there will be limits on the size of gatherings. Under level 2, people will be asked to avoid unnecessary gatherings, and gatherings with over 100 people will be banned. Under level 2.5 and level 3, even small gatherings will be banned, while bars and restaurants will have limited hours. Also, in terms of monitoring, facilities will be put into one of 2 categories, either intensive monitoring or less intensive monitoring. Intensive will be for places such as bars, clubs, restaurants, and cafes. Less intensive includes wedding halls, movie theaters, and stores. Also, as announced previously, from November 13th, the government will fine people who don't wear masks in places where they are required. Masks are required anywhere there are crowds, whether indoors or outdoors. Yoon Jung-min, Arirang News.
A number of European countries have issued second lockdown orders in a bid to contain the rapid resurgence of COVID-19 on the continent. And panic buying is rearing its head again, with people rushing to stock up on food, water, toiletries, as well as virus prevention supplies. Our Lee Kyung-eun reports.
Europe is again emerging as the global epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic. Cases in Europe have doubled over the past 5 weeks, with the figure breaking 10 million as of Sunday. The spread is happening faster than ever, given that it took Europe almost 9 months to record 5 million infections. The next 5 million have been reported in slightly over a month. Europe, with 10% of the world's population, now accounts for 22% of the global caseload of some 46 million, with Russia, France, Spain, the UK, and Italy being the top 5 hotspots. The WHO's regional director for Europe called the situation worse than at any other time.
The evolving epidemiological situation in Europe raises great concern. Daily numbers of cases are up. Hospital admissions are up. And COVID is now the 5th leading cause of deaths, and the bar of 8,000 deaths per day has now been reached.
It is time to step up, he said, and lockdowns have returned. France banning all non-essential trips outside people's homes throughout November. Germany goes into a 4-week partial lockdown starting Monday. Bars and pubs there are to close, while restaurants will remain open for takeaways only. Greece has also shut down hospitality businesses and mandated the wearing of face masks. In Spain, there is a nationwide curfew between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m., while Italy has ordered restaurants to close early. The UK is the latest to join the move to lockdown. The lockdowns have sparked panic buying. Local media reports show people stripping supermarket shelves to stock up on food, toilet paper, and face masks. Similar social chaos was witnessed earlier this year during Europe's first wave of COVID-19. 이경은, Arirang News.
2 days out from the U.S. presidential election, candidates are stepping up their campaigns in major swing states. President Trump has been focusing his efforts in Michigan, Iowa, North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida from the early hours on Sunday, and his Democratic rival Joe Biden has been concentrating on Rust Belt states, especially Pennsylvania, which was key to delivering President Trump's victory 4 years ago. Biden has visited Pennsylvania more than any other battleground state, as polls show signs of a tightening contest there. The entire world is keenly interested in this week's U.S. presidential election, but many pundits say the final results might not be fully out on election night. Our Kim Hyo-sun explains how the exit poll system works in the United States, which could be helpful in forecasting who wins the White House for the next 4 years.
Major U.S. networks have formed a consortium to collaborate on an exit polling operation since the 2000s. With Fox News and AP withdrawing from the group in 2017, the group of networks are composed of ABC, CBS, CNN, and NBC this year. In the U.S., the exit polls are not collected for all 50 states across the country, but are targeted on nearly 24 states, including key battleground ones. During the 2016 presidential election, exit polls were conducted in 26 states. Yet the results are not disclosed all at once for all states, with some reporting the results sooner than others. That's because of the time difference, as well as the fact that there are different voting times for each state. This means that while voting is still in progress in some states, others could reveal the exit poll results. The early waves of exit poll data will begin to be disclosed from states in the Eastern Coast, where votes close earlier than others, from 9 a.m. Wednesday, Korea time. 6 swing states, Florida, Pennsylvania, Michigan, North Carolina, and Arizona, are deemed pivotal in the race for the White House. Kim Hyo-sun, Arirang News.
Former South Korean President Lee Myung-bak, who was sentenced late last week to 17 years in prison on embezzlement and bribery charges, is being incarcerated again in the coming hours. This comes as the Supreme Court upheld a verdict handed down by an appeals court. He will be heading to the Seoul Dongbu Detention Center this afternoon. He was detained after he was arrested in March 2018, but was released a year later on bail. The United States says it respects South Korea's position on the use of communication equipment from Huawei, but reiterated its stance that the use of the Chinese tech firm's products should be off the table. Our Lee Seung-jae has more.
U.S. Undersecretary of State of Economic Growth, Energy Security, and the Environment, Keith Krach, says Washington will respect Seoul's reluctance to press domestic companies to stop using Huawei's network equipment. However, during an interview with Voice of America, he said that at the end of the day, it's all about trust. The U.S. government has been pushing the South Korean government to join its international effort to stop using Huawei goods. In particular, it targeted South Korean telecom company LG U+, as the Chinese tech giant supplies LG U+ with equipment for 4G LTE and 5G networks. The comments by Krach indicate that Washington may not hit Seoul with any sanctions over its use of Huawei network. China has slammed a number of European countries which have begun halting their use of Huawei. This includes Sweden, which Beijing says should adopt an objective attitude and address its wrong decision to avoid a negative impact on Swedish companies in China.
The Swedish side should hold an objective and fair view to correct the mistaken decision and avoid to bring negative impact on business and trade between China and Sweden and Swedish companies' operation in China.
European governments have been tightening regulations on Chinese 5G networks, including from Huawei, amid intense diplomatic pressure from Washington. The U.S. says Huawei equipment could be used by Beijing for spying, a claim the company has repeatedly denied. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
One of the world's largest typhoons of the year, Typhoon Goni, struck the Philippines on Sunday morning local time, killing at least 10 people. The super typhoon is the 18th tropical storm to hit the country this year, and it comes only days after Typhoon Malave swept through the country. Our Choi Min-jung has the details.
Super typhoon Typhoon Goni made landfall in the Philippines on Sunday morning local time, leaving at least 10 people dead. Of the strongest typhoons to hit the country, it comes just days after Typhoon Malave, which killed 22 people. According to the Office of Civil Defense in the Bicol region, Typhoon Goni slammed through an area located on the main Luzon Island, southeast of Manila, traveling at 225 kilometers per hour. The governor of the region reported 10 deaths from the super typhoon, with some dying from an overflowing river and one killed by a falling tree. According to authorities, almost 400,000 people were displaced in the Bicol region, and almost 350,000 of them were evacuated to government-run evacuation centers as well as school gyms. Officials say there are added concerns over the use of evacuation shelters amid the outbreak of COVID-19. In addition, power supplies were cut off in 10 towns as well as Manila after trees were toppled by powerful winds. Manila's main airport was also forced to shut down until Monday, with airlines required to cancel domestic and international flights. The disaster-prone country previously experienced a deadly typhoon back in 2013, with Typhoon Haiyan leaving more than 7,000 people dead or missing and damaging more than 4 million homes. Meanwhile, Typhoon Goni has left the Philippines after weakening to a tropical storm late on Sunday. However, the National Weather Agency has warned of another possible typhoon coming up after Goni. Choi Min-jung, Arirang News.
Good morning. We have some welcome rain to ease the dryness in the air on a Sunday, and the new week is kicking off on a chillier note. But there is a big drop in temperatures on the way. It's going to feel like early winter for next couple of days, with lows plunging to -1 degree Celsius here in the capital by Wednesday morning. Thick fog in the central region should ease up with plenty of sunshine. Then highs will rise quickly to the mid to upper teens in most parts, and Jeju will get up to 19 degrees Celsius this afternoon, and sunny skies are in store across much of the country along with decent air quality. So this week we'll have a glimpse of winter-like conditions, and there's rain in the forecast for the end of the week. Well, this Saturday already marks Ipdong, the beginning of winter, according to East Asian traditional calendars. But there won't be a major cold snap like there was this week. That's Korea for you, and here's a look at the weather conditions around the world.
And that's a wrap for us at the hour on Arirang News. We'll be back with more of the day's headlines at noon Korea time, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching and goodbye.